Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Recommended Setups, and today I'm going to be covering the Fafnir. So a lot of you were asking me what weapons work best on the Fafnir, and you know what, I didn't want to actually rush this video because this is a newer robot, and when it comes to anything that's new, I prefer to actually run it for like a couple of weeks if I can, and then kind of give you my feedback in terms of what I found actually worked best. And, you know, a couple of other things I discovered, you know, while playing that robot. So hopefully this is worth it. I'm going to be covering some older weapons as well, like Tarans, but also some newer weapons and hybrid builds as well. So yeah, I guess let's get started here with the first build, the Fafnir with Tarans. Okay, so this build might actually surprise a lot of players, mostly because I'm going to be using Tarans, which is an older weapon. So hopefully you guys haven't sold your Tarans if you do have these weapons. This is actually another classic example of why you shouldn't sell your weapons, but here are the stats at max level. And in terms of the modules, I do have Nuclear Amplifier, Overdrive, Last Stand, Advanced Repair, which is going to be tied to my drone. I'm going to show that in a bit. And here are the pilot skills. Now, one thing I want to mention with this robot, when you are in flight, you are actually very fragile. So having something like a Last Stand or even cloaking can really help a build like this. Now, in terms of the drone, we are going to be using the Paralysis. Okay, so this drone is a lockdown drone. I also actually have a lockdown chip just to kind of speed up that accumulation. We have on repair unit damage, so I have 2 of those stacked, and also the absorber shield here as well. Now, in terms of you know, what other drones you can use, the Discus, I think the Nebula, even the Persephone drone can work really well for this kind of setup. So having said that, we're going to jump into some gameplay now, you know, of this build, so that you guys can see, you know, how this does out there on the battlefield. Okay, we're going to do that right now, and we do have an Ao Ming, so we should be able to take out this guy here. So you can see how much damage my built-in weapon is doing because they were shooting my absorber shield earlier on. So a lot of players have actually asked me that extra damage that I accumulate when they fire at the absorber shield, when does it end? It actually only ends when I land. So I still have that increased damage here, and you can see just how quickly we are able to take out players with this build. And we have an Ao Ming here. That guy's protecting him, or was. Man, that's absolutely crazy. Okay, so moving on, we have the Igniter build. So here are the stats for the Igniter at max level. All the passive modules, pilot skills, you know, the drone chips, everything else is the same. One thing I did want to mention though is with this build, you're going to find it's actually very deadly when it's on the ground and you can fire all your Igniter weapons, but when you are in flight, it's actually very hard to hit players with these flamethrowers. So I think if I had a choice between this and the Taran build, I actually favor the Tarans over this, but let's jump into some gameplay here so that you guys can see this build in action. And then when they start firing at me like crazy, that's when you want to go into a flight, especially when they have their Titans out. That's probably the best time to do it. This guy in front of me is going to be landing here soon, so let's deal with this guy. Let's just do that. Now I'm going to go into flight because they're all shooting at my shield here. We're going to target this Hawk here first because he's going to be my biggest threat. Take out that guy, maybe this one here too. Oh, they have a Titan. And these weapons are actually very effective when it comes to dealing with like physical shields. The only thing is it's hard to aim them, you know, when you are in flight like that. So if I can lock this guy down, my flames will be doing a lot of damage to him. Let's deal with that guy there. There's a Hawk over here as well. Let's just actually drop down here. This way I have some resistance. Let's deal with that guy. We have a Scorpion here in front of us. I'm trying to see if I can take this guy out. He's gone into a phase shift. Can we get him? Living legend. Okay, so moving on, we have the best medium range build using the Skadi weapon. So here are the stats for the Skadi at max level. So what I like about this build, other than the 600 meter range, is the effect accumulation. So if you have freezer, suppressor, lockdown, and chips, these weapons are going to trigger it really quickly. I do have nuclear amplifier overdrives on here. If you don't have these, thermonuclear reactor works really well. Advanced repair, which is going to be tied to my drone. So for a build like this, you can use the Persephone, which is what I'm using right now. So here are the chips for this. Other options, the Octanian, Paralysis, Nebula, the Discus. Any of those drones work really well for this build. But yeah, let's take a look at some gameplay, of this build in action. You know what? Maybe I can get some of these players from this angle here. Try to focus down their Typhon back there. He has EMP'd me, but he's almost down. You might be able to get him here. Let's try to take this guy out. There we go. That guy, I might be able to get this guy here. Is he going to go to the side? He is. Let's try to lock him down. And there we go. I don't want to get too close to that shell there because they can actually do a lot of damage to me if I'm not careful. That's why I'm keeping my distance here. Oh, his shield got broken. Another player moving in on this side here as well. Let's try to focus on this guy. Trying to weaken that shell under the bridge. He should be hitting his last stand here soon. If I can lock this guy down as well. Let's just do that. Come on. Man, that guy's got a strong shell. That should do it, surely. There we go. So what I'm doing here is really playing the range of this robot. I'm not trying to brawl with it because you don't want to try to brawl with this. Let's try to get this tier. So now I go into flight because he's shooting me, so he's going to charge up my built-in weapon. So we can take him out, and this guy here too. And you know what I like about this this bot, especially on this map, you can fly to the side here and really sort of abuse the terrain. So you notice how he's struggling to actually hit me with his flames. That is one of the problems when it comes to actually using igniters on this build. Very hard to hit players with those weapons. Man, that Fenrir is really tough. I'm trying to take him out. He keeps healing up. But we should be finishing him off. There we go. Okay, so the last two builds here are hybrid builds, a combination of Skadi Igniter, or in this case, Skadi-Havoc. Now, the reason why I have a combination of weapons here is because the Skadi works really well at locking down players from 600 meters when you are in flight. And if you do have to land and, deal with like a shell, Fenrir invader, any kind of tanky robot, you have the igniters to back you up with that, or in this case, the Havoc. Now, I do have nuclear amplifier overdrives on both of them, as you can see. It really depends on, what level your Fafnir is. If it's on the weaker side, then I would say maybe using, armor kit, heavy armor kit. Balance unit might be another option. Last stand also helps. Cloaking can help your Fafnir survive for a bit longer. In terms of my drones, I'm using the Persephone. So pretty much the same setup here, you can see. with the on repair unit damage, 2 of these on repair unit defense chips, and the absorber chip as well. So we're going to jump into some gameplay so that you guys can see these 2 hybrid builds in action. It's going to be very effective at taking this guy out. So let's try to do that. They are charging up my shield right now, which is going to allow me to dish out more damage. So I'm going to try to actually get these guys down to their last stand if I can. This guy is almost down to his last stand. He is healing up quite a bit. Let me try to see if I can switch on over to this guy here. This guy's down to his... Man, all these shields. Holy crap, there's 4 guys here now. Can I take out this guy, perhaps? Yeah, that guy's trying to suppress me, but I'm kind of flying over this beacon here in the hopes this is going to help to hold it down. Let's try to do that. This T-Falcon's actually almost taken out. Now we need to focus on this guy over here. And that should do it. There we go. Finally. Holy crap. And this guy. So this player is also almost down to his last stand. That should do it. So what I can do here is land. So I have some sort of resistance, and this should be able to finish him off. There we go. We have a player moving this way. I'm going to go into a flight here because this is going to allow me to do more damage. I think they did charge up my shield, and they definitely did based on what I did to that guy. Let's try to focus on this shell here. Should be able to take him out. There we go. And this guy, if I can get him down to his last stand. Uh-oh. This guy on this left side here was not watching this beacon. We need to try to get this guy down to his last stand. And I'm trying to focus on this guy here as well. Looks like we were dealing with a Fafnir. I'm trying to weaken that guy up, the Fafnir, because tanks take a while to deal with. Okay, so we got to target this Typhon here as well. He EMP'd me, which is really bad for me too. I don't want to land, even though I do get resistance, because the thing is, if I do land, remember, it takes a couple of seconds. There's a bit of a cooldown. So if I can actually get this guy here. Can I get him? There we go. And this guy? Almost. Almost. I'm trying to fly close to him so that he messes up his aim a bit. He's going to be landing, and we managed to take him out as well. So let's keep on focusing on this Fafnir. Make it as costly for them as possible. Let's take this guy out. He's actually going down pretty quickly. There is a leech here which I need to focus on as well. This guy's trying to hide. Take this guy out. I don't want to focus on that Fafnir there. We actually almost have him all the way down here. If we can maybe take him out. I think he might actually kill me. No, I think we got him. Living legend. Okay, so one thing I wanted to add here, because I know you guys are going to be asking me, what about this Havoc build? So this build actually does really well when you're on the ground. You have the 4 Havoc weapons, a lot of firepower. What I found was when I was in flight, that is when I ran into issues, because I had to get really close. Okay, so these weapons have a range of 200 meters, and the problem is if you get too close, you lose your target lock. So that actually ended up happening a lot more than I wanted to, and that's why I don't really recommend this build. Not to say it doesn't do a lot of damage, it's more the target lock that was really annoying to deal with, when I was playing this build. And the other build which someone actually recommended during a recent live stream is the Ion build. So this build has the potential to do a lot of damage. It's really more of a range build. The problem I found with this build though is when I do land and I need to deal with something like an Invader, Fenrir Shell, these weapons don't have enough firepower to deal with that. And you know what? I actually recommend the Tarans over this build. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of the builds which I've shown today. And also, if you guys found this video helpful, definitely make sure to leave a thumbs up. And I also do have other setups which I've covered as well. In case you guys are interested, there is a separate playlist for this. The last one I did, you can see here, was for the Hawk. We also have the Behemoth, the Hellburner, the Orochi. You can always go through this list if you have any of these robots. And I think that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. And until the next video, I'll catch you guys later.